Welcome to our Mother Mary Matrix today. You're being recorded. This is for teaching purposes. And we're really excited to be here today for our Mother Mary group. So
thought we'd start out with that. So we're going to do something a little different today. I am going to be looking at this video that Kimberly Meredith, Channels the Holy Spirit channel, has released April 18th, 2024. So that was over a year ago from now. I'm recording this on the 18th of November, 2025. And I am Susan Gerbic, your host for Psychics Explained. And thank you so much to all the new subscribers. I had a wonderful interview for Recovering from Religion last night, and the video is not out, but if you watched it live, oh my gosh, I had so much fun. They allowed me to explore and to show videos and explain, and the hosts that were on the screen with me, the reactions they had to the videos I was showing were priceless. They were like, no way. Happen. And then I'm like, yeah, it happens all the time. So I showed one of these, a clip from Kimberly Meredith, and they just could not believe what this woman does. So I thought, I'll go ahead and I will break down all these videos and we'll put it together in a series, and we will call it Mother Mary, the Mother Mary series. Mother Mary series. This woman is extremely religious, very much into the Catholic kind of saints and angels and Mother Mom and all these other people. She's very heavily into this. So what I'm going to do, I haven't watched the readings except for the one that I did the little clip from, and I'm going to show you in separate videos. And the two mediums we're really going to focus on are Kimberly Meredith and Kelly Eckersley. And Kelly's name is Kelley Eckhart. So it's an unusual spelling. And that's why I just kept thinking, I thought I did a video on this woman. Well, actually, I've done two, but I couldn't find it because I was spelling Kelly, Kelly. It's Kelley. All right. We're going to start with, what do we want to start with? Let's start with Kimberly Meredith. And I think there's two readings, but I'm going to break them into separate videos. These are public, as you saw at the beginning of this, that they know that they're being recorded. And she even mentions that in one of the others. So I'm not hiding anything. This is a public video. Kimberly Meredith Channels the Holy Spirit channel has about 5,000 subscribers. And this video I'm showing you from April 18th, 2024 has 348 views. It's 2.5 hours long. So as I said, I'm going to break it into smaller chunks. We're going to just do the readings right now. I probably will do a video on who they are. It shows like a breakdown of the different like the intros and so on. So I have researched Kimberly Meredith before. I'm going to give you a brief overview of who she is and why I'm involved. She calls herself a human MRI machine. So she says that she is able to see into your body and see what ails you. All right. Now, when I was doing this lecture for the Recovering from Religion, I said, I better put together some clips, because the whole premise of the video I was doing was how mediums prey, PREY, on women. You know, it's a women crime on women. Of course, I know that also men are being preyed on, but I'm trying to focus it back to women, because that is the majority. And so I said to myself, oh, I've got to go find some video clips of women who have been harmed. Oh, gee, where should I go? I could have pulled hundreds of little clips. And I just, like I said, I went to Kimberly Meredith, and I just almost found any section. I just went to one, I scrolled through and I said, okay, here she's doing a reading. Let's watch this for a few minutes. I'm like, yeah, there's a clip. There you go. And I'm telling you, the people who are watching it were just like, oh my gosh, this happens. I'm like, yes, in these smaller groups where they think they're with just all believers, this is what happens. It is not the stuff you see on TV where it's heavily edited and people are, doing the Tyler Henry and the Teresa Caputo stuff. No, this is the real life, what's going on. All right. Kimberly Meredith has a long history with Thomas John, and she's still apparently associated with Thomas John. Now, there is no way in my mind that somebody should still be associated with Thomas John with the amount of exposing we have done of Thomas John. There's no doubt in my mind, and no court in this land with the evidence that we have provided would say that Thomas John is psychic. We have absolutely, beyond a reasonable doubt, have proven he is hot reading. And when you hot read, there's no way that you don't know that you are cheating. And I can call him that because I have the evidence for it. So any psychic medium who is still associated with this guy is beyond clueless, or she has he has something on her, or she is just doesn't care because her money is there. And when Kimberly Meredith is introduced in this video, which I'm not going to show you right now, she's still allowing for the Thomas John. She's worked with Thomas John. I would have scrubbed that off my resume so fast. And I think, like I said, I think they're still pairing together. Amazing, just amazing. And in this political world we're in right now, in November 18th of 2025, when the House of Representatives has almost unanimously just voted to release the Epstein files, that's where we're talking about. How does somebody continue an association with Epstein after it's clear who he is and what he represents and what he has done? Anybody who stays after that part where it's been exposed, no, I don't expect any. I have no respect for them. Now, Kelly, I think, is also associated with Thomas John, but I don't have evidence of that at this second. So, but she has also been very heavily involved with Thomas John. So, as I said, we're gonna focus right now on Kimberly Meredith. Pay attention to her eyeballs. She blinks, and she says that the blinks, I'm not even sure I'm going to be able to explain this right. Her blinking is how she communicates with spirit. I did it with a straight face. I'm proud of myself. All right. So get your notebooks. I will do as I usually do. We're going to go through these. As I said, I have not watched these other than a few minutes that I spent looking for a clip. Comments are always welcome. You guys, I need to know you're here with me. So please like, subscribe, and leave comments. That helps build the channel, and it makes me feel less alone doing this, spending my afternoons doing this. I don't know how many videos will be in this series, maybe 5, but I guess we'll find out, huh? We'll find out together. All right, let me cue up this clip that we're going to use. Kimberly, they pray, they do all sorts of stuff. And then let me find her here. Okay, here's where this is the woman that I profiled last night on Recovering from Religion. I do not have that video. It's not out yet. So when it is, I will put it up on the channel. Okay, the person on the right in the white is Kimberly Meredith. That's the person we're going to focus on in this. The person in the left with the blonde hair, with the black background, wearing black, is Kelly Eckersley. And we will get to her in another series of videos. So as I said, I haven't watched this. I don't have it all queued up exactly. You know me, I'm unscripted. So let's see what happens, and we'll stop as we go. But the reading is maybe 8 minutes long. So, and if I break it up once or twice, that's just where we are.
I'm going to put myself out of the spotlight now somehow.
You're good at this.
Sometimes.
We have some help. So I think it's Colette. Is Colette here with us? Yeah, Colette's with us. Okay, so I'm going in the room. That was beautiful. I love that. That was beautiful reading. I love your hair too. It's so pretty. Okay, you got it done. It's so pretty. I love it. Okay, so I'm going in the room, and remember, we're going to do a little co-healing too. And I'm going to look. I love that we have this group. I really do. It's my favorite group. Hi, Heather. Hi, sweetie. Okay, nice seeing you. Okay, looking in the room. I'm not seeing everybody have their camera on. So please turn your camera on if you'd like a reading, because we can't see you if you don't have your camera on. Okay, great. There you go. You guys turning your cameras on now. I can see you now. Okay. Oh, there you guys are. Okay, couldn't see you before. You guys are all putting your cameras on now. Great. Some new people here. Welcome. Welcome, everyone. Lots of new people. Nice having you here in this beautiful spiritual community. Hi, Mark. You're new. I've not met you before. Nice to meet you. Michelle, I don't know if I know you before. You might be new. Why don't I bring you up, Michelle? Would you like to have a reading? Okay. So I'm not going to touch anything. Yay, you came up. Okay, let's have you unmute yourself so I can. Michelle, how did you find out about our group?
I got an email. I've seen you before. Yeah, and I got an email from Kelly. I've met Kelly before.
Okay. So my guides are going in right away. Sometimes I have people ask me a question, but right now, because we're doing the Mother Mary group, it's more about healing and connecting. And they're telling me something about you connecting more with God. There's a real something about you connecting with your spiritual life. They're talking about you having a real kind heart, that you like to help people. You might even be a healer.
I don't know.
It's telling me you might be thinking about wanting to do that. Is that true?
The thought had crossed my mind, but not specifically.
They're telling me that something is going on with you spiritually, though. There's something that's going on with your spiritual life. You want to tell me something about that? Why are they telling me that?
I just have a lot of issues going on right now that I've been praying about.
Yeah, they're showing me the sign of the Christ light with you, that you're struggling with your spiritual life right now. Do you want to ask me a question about that? And they're also saying that you're a person that really, like, you're an empath. You take things to the heart real hard, that you are very sensitive.
Could be.
Do you want to ask me a couple questions?
I don't even know where to begin. Right now, there's just a lot going on. My husband has a lot of health issues that I'm dealing with, and then I'm also dealing with a lot of stress at work. So I'm looking at retiring and changing my career.
Yeah, that's why they're telling me you're leaving. You're going to be doing something more spiritual. They're telling me you're
service oriented.
That's why. Okay, so I get signs and symbols and numbers. The first number comes up as a 7. Second number is a 4, and the last number is an 8. 8 is a sign of a soulmate. They're talking about somebody, maybe your soulmate's your husband.
I don't know.
Don't know if your husband's your soulmate or not.
Right.
Oh, okay. I can ask if you don't know if your husband's your soulmate. I can ask. If you want me to ask, is your husband your soulmate?
Sure.
I mean, I don't know if you want that on here. You could always have a private session with me because this is going to be on
Okay.
YouTube. This is going to be on
Yeah.
YouTube, by the way.
Yeah.
This whole class is on YouTube.
Okay. Yeah, maybe not then.
Yeah, yeah, because I mean that's kind of like if I
Mhm.
tell you it's not your soulmate, that might be kind of embarrassing. They are
Mhm.
telling me that you are going to be moving into a new job. You are, because they're telling me that you were born to do teaching. There's some kind of spiritual teaching of some sort happening.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so I don't know if that's an interest of you or not, but they are telling me that. And then they are telling me that if it's not, you know, there's someone from the afterlife that's trying to contact you. Um, you know, these readings here are really about helping you understand that the kind of readings that I do are more progressively moving people into where they need to go. My
Mhm.
guys, and they want to help you progressively move. So that's why we're
Mhm.
going to ask you if you have a question.
Yeah. It's a lot about um my primary questions are about my career, my future path.
Yeah, so you might want to do a private session with me because that's about an hour.
Okay.
But they're telling me you're not going to be at your future job right now. They don't see it in 2025.
They don't see me at my future job in 25
I think we're having a
or my current job.
communication, you're having a communication issue with me right now. Yeah, yeah. You're they're saying your current job, you're not
Mhm.
going to be there in 2025.
That's the plan.
Yeah, so thank you for letting me do a reading for you. And there
Thank you.
is somebody on the other side trying to contact you. Your husband's current husband, they're saying, you know, they're telling me it does have some health issues. He can be healed.
That's good.
Yeah. They're saying as far as your health, there is some issues there too going on.
Yeah. Sleep issues.
Okay, we're going to stop right there for the moment because I think we're a little more than halfway through with this reading. And I have seen this this clip, and I also shared it on the Recovering from Religion group. And I showed the clip, and then I allowed the chat to tell us what they saw. And there was a lot of things that they saw, and I hope you've picked up on as you watch this as well. So I'm going to just go through some things in my mind and what they said, and let's see if it's what you said. So remember, I always encourage you to leave me comments in the as you watch. Go ahead and leave the comments on the video. All right. So I don't know if you're paying attention to her blinking, but she does a lot of that. Her glasses do make it a little difficult to see, but she's doing a lot of blinking, and she tilts her head to the side a lot and does a lot of thinking, like and spiritus or whatever it is, they are trying to get a hold of her. Okay, so one of the things she does is she kind of pushes, well, she pushes it subtly, and this is what we see a lot. It's happening in these communities of mediumship when they get into to these smaller groups. There's about 50 people that signed up for this, paid for this. A lot of the people she knows, which is hot reading. Okay. So what she said, she asked her how she got into this, and Michelle said that she got an email from Kelly Eckersley because she knows Kelly Eckersley. So in other words, this woman's already in this community. So when Kelly Meredith says you're an empath, I think you're an empath and a healer. What that is keywords for sign up for one of my mentorships and my workshops and my retreats, my books, my whatever. In other words, it's a way of getting them to go and be part of their little world. Okay, so that's a keyword. So it's fascinating what she said about her soulmate, and then she said, well, I don't know if my husband's my soulmate. And Kelly is really pushing back. You don't know what? Like what? And Michelle I watched her face this time, and she made that smile like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I said that. Or kind of a cringe kind of face. You guys can go back and look at it if you want to. And her husband is very ill. He's got lots of health issues, apparently, according to Michelle. And so him being her soulmate, that's kind of interesting. The whole part of that is kind of strange and honest. She's being very honest. She doesn't know. She's strange. She's not sleeping well. She's having all kinds of issues, and she's not sure that her husband is her soulmate. And good on Kimberly Meredith to say, yeah, Kimberly. Kelly, I keep calling her Kelly Meredith. It's Kimberly Meredith. I'm sorry. And good on Kimberly to say, do you really want that out there? I wonder what she would have said to her. Some kind of wibbly wobbly, googly goggly way of saying it that kind of was, well, in the past, you guys have been soulmates and you thought maybe when you first got married, and then now you've had so many challenges and maybe things have slipped. I could see her saying something like that, but I don't know Kimberly as well as I know some of the other mediums that I watch a lot of and had readings with. So I don't know. She might have said yes, or she might have said no, or she might have given some kind of long excuse. And the woman, Michelle, did make that clear that her husband has health issues and she's experiencing issues, and that she really wants to know about her career. That's really what she wants to do, because she wants to get out. She wants to retire. The number thing is fascinating. I mean, Kimberly's just pulling those numbers out of her ass. I mean, what about it? 7, 4, 8? I mean, I can say numbers too. 6, 7. I mean, what about it? And then it's just, like I said, I'm not psychic, so I can't get inside Kimberly's head. Not that I want to be in Kimberly's head, but who knows? Is it a gimmick? Does she really believe this? Is this is it some sort of like something that Kimberly has worked out, that things mean things, and the first things that occur to her, first numbers that occur to her actually are like pulling from them or spirit or something? I don't know. I have no idea. I just know this is typical of her. So she sees her moving into teaching and something spiritual. And Michelle's kind of like, yeah, maybe. Yeah, okay. She wants to leave her job. She wants to retire. She's not happy. But having this person who is telling you this, steer your life this way, when you're agreeing because maybe you sort of agree, but also you're agreeing because the spiritual leader that has authority is telling you this. So could she possibly be pushed into a job opportunity she isn't necessarily wanting or ready for? I don't know. It might work out for her. It might not work out for her. We'll see. And that was one of the things that people in the chat at the Recovering from Religion lecture said. This woman is a person who has a lot of, Kimberly, she has a lot of presence, and she has that feeling of authority. So she's very firm and determined. You're going to see some more of that in a few minutes. One of the things that, did I write it down? Oh yeah. Okay. So she says, my future path. That's what Michelle really wants to have. And I love how, I want to use this line. I love how Kimberly says, when you, instead of saying, you're not understanding, you're not paying attention, you're not really listening to me, she says, I think you're having a communication issue with me. Rude and kind of polite, kind of a little both. I'm not quite sure. All right. Here's what I want to make sure I point out, but nobody on the call last night who heard this clip caught this. But she tells Michelle, your current husband is very ill, but he can be healed. And Michelle says, good. Oh, good. What do you mean by current husband? Does that mean there's more to come? And would she have made that comment if the woman had said, no, he's my soulmate? So I don't know what that was all about, but It certainly made it sound like Kimberly's going to be pushing that there's going to be another husband coming along. But I don't know if this Michelle catches on that, but I caught that. And maybe you guys have caught it as well. He can be healed. What the heck does that mean? Actually, his physical ailments will be repaired, or he'll be healed by spiritually, or what does that mean? I don't know. It doesn't mean anything. It means whatever they want it to fit to mean. That's all it means. Okay, so let's go back to the reading. Let's see if you guys picked up on anything else. There's more. There is more, and it's interesting.
Stress.
They're saying more than that. Yeah,
Oh,
more than sleep issues. There's some gut health issues going on
okay.
with your stomach. And once again, when I first came on, they said you come from your heart. You're very much an empath. You really take things very sensitive and empathic. So that is also, you helping your husband, you working, all that. I'm getting a negative blank. So this is like you're giving a lot, you're doing a lot. And they're saying some
Mhm.
things need to be shifted pretty soon, but we're looking at 2025, you moving, sooner than later, which 2025 is right around the corner.
Right, right. That kind of goes in line with everything that's going on right now. Yeah.
So I do what's called soul frequencies and soul timeline readings, which
Mhm.
are various numbers that go on. And those numbers and soul frequencies and timelines are saying to you, this is like a longer reading that they want to get you moving faster, sooner than later.
Okay. And the 7, it's interesting because my plan was to retire by July of next year.
No,
No?
not July 2025.
Oh,
No.
okay.
Like I said, you could ask me this as a longer reading, but they don't
Sure.
want me there next year. No, sorry. They're saying no.
They're saying sooner?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is a longer reading. We only want to do mini readings today.
Right,
I'm
right.
sorry.
No,
Yeah.
that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah. So what we want sometimes is not what God wants.
Mhm.
But the 7 is a sign of the Holy Spirit. So when I
Okay.
first saw you, they're saying, what kind of job do you do?
I work for the state of California.
Yeah, I'm not sure you're going to be working there much longer. They're
Yeah,
saying,
I haven't thought that either.
yeah, they're saying more like May, June, July, yeah, we could do a private session on that. Okay, thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you. Mhm.
All right, I'm going to turn it over to Kelly now.
Fascinating, right? Okay, so um where to go with this? Okay, she's got gut health issues that she doesn't know about, which is dangerous to be telling anybody anything medical. She's not a doctor. She's got no licensing. I don't care how many times she calls herself an MRI machine. She ain't an MRI machine. She's just a woman who's made this her career, and she could be throwing anything out there. It means nothing, right? It does sound a lot alike she is trying to get business, and she's asking for her to get a longer reading, which is, a few $100s probably, and, drumming up business. What is this all about? I don't know. She says it's about teaching, but it sounds an awful like she's trying to get a reading from her. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, this is her business, and she's like uh, Kimberly's doing like a consultation with somebody. I mean, if you bring somebody through your house and you say, I need to get plumbing done, I want to get this little thing over here done, can you do that quickly? And the plumber comes around and says, no, I see a lot of stuff that needs to be worked on. It's going to take me a while. We need to set up another appointment. It's going to cost more money and so on. Yeah, that's fine. But this isn't real. Okay. We can pretend, we can play make believe and say it's real, but this is not real. One of the things that one of the commenters was really surprised and talking about, they're like, if this woman can really diagnose people and see people like this, why is she not working in the hospitals? Makes you wonder, right? Why is she doing this little bit to 50 people? If she has this talent, this expertise, this ability, this is valuable stuff. Think about healthcare and how you could diagnose people so easily with your blinking. Just it's incredible what people don't realize. I mean, there's 50 people who paid to be here. They believe this, they follow this. Why? I I I guess they think it works. There's also a lot that goes on too that makes you really think about it. And this also came out in the discussion we had yesterday. I mean, you guys should really hang out because there's some great discussions that are going on in some of these communities and lectures and after lectures and the world that I'm in. So, come hang out if you want. I'm on Facebook all the time. And the idea that some medium, whoever she is, would have to ask her, what kind of job do you do? She had to ask her. And for the woman who's working for the state of California in probably a professional job with really good health benefits, insurance, and so on, she's a fairly youngish woman to retire. Now, maybe she has enough years in that she can retire okay, but to leave a job like that with benefits and so on, especially when your husband is really ill and healthy, is not something that I would advise to anybody to do, unless, I mean, your job is so horrendous and so awful. I would never tell somebody to leave. In fact, I probably would tell them, we need to make your working conditions better. You need to fight to get your working conditions better, maybe transfer or something. But leaving a job from the state of California before you're actually of retirement age yourself, I don't know about that. That's cray cray, especially since what happens in 2025, as you guys know, because here we are, we have this election and we have a brand new administration who's doing everything they possibly can to attack healthcare. And so you've got premiums. We just finished the shutdown. So I don't know when you're watching this video, but this longest government shutdown has just happened. And people are freaking out because they're starting to see what the premiums look like. Now that is the ACA, which is Obamacare. So I don't know what it's doing to people who might have retired with health care from the state of California. Luckily, she's in California. But, these are times to be cautious, is what I'm trying to say. And leaving to go do something spiritual and in teaching when your husband is ill, I don't know. This all sounds very risky. And I think it's kind of abusive because we know that Kimberly's just making stuff up. Come on now. The other thing that anybody who watches my channel for a while hears me say over and over and over is what is missing. People say that these mediums say, I'm not a doctor. I'm not telling you anything. I didn't tell you anything bad. I didn't tell you you had cancer. I didn't tell you you had 4 months to live. They don't tell that kind of stuff. Usually what they tell people is like you have back issues or your feet are bothering you or your knee needs to be looked at, or are you having problems with your wrist or something wrong with your gut? Kimberly likes to do gut stuff. And so they would say this is fine and safe and that, I'm not really giving health advice. I'm just giving mild health advice that one friend would give to the other. And they're not. These aren't friends. This is a woman in authority who has this powerful connection. When you watch the video where they introduce Kimberly Meredith, you will hear accolade after accolade after accolade that makes her sound like this just, why isn't she in charge of the medical system in the United States these days or something, is she going to be our next health leader or something? Oh gosh, I shouldn't have said that. It might happen. Well, good. Then somebody's watching this video. Okay. So, when you have somebody of authority like this, where you believe them, that they have this ability to be able to look into your body, and they are looking at your body and telling Kimberly, I don't know, then what is missing is that there may be something wrong with Michelle that an actual doctor might need to want to look into, right? And women, well, actually everybody isn't usually that excited about going to the doctor. Oh, gee, I got a doctor's appointment today. I can't wait. I got to fast. And then I'm going to go get my blood work. I can't wait. My appointment's at 10 o'clock, so nothing. I can't even have water. I mean, and breast exams, pelvic exams. I don't know any women who are like, yay, colonoscopy. Yes, I can't wait to drink all that stuff and go get my colonoscopy. And men too. So people are going to put off things that they should probably be getting done. The routine exams, routine physicals, because they just got seen by this psychic who's an human MRI, and she didn't say anything wrong except to my gut. So I should be able to skip this year, all those exams. I mean, it's expensive. It takes a lot of my time. I'm stressed anyway. It's busy. I need to be home with my husband. I need to be working. I need to be hanging out with my dog. I don't know. They're going to put stuff off because that's just human nature. I don't want to do it either. So now you have an excuse not to do it. And the same thing if you have any kind of feeling that maybe something is bothering you. Maybe your heart rate seems to be really elevated, or you really aren't sleeping well. And maybe she is having depression, or maybe lots of things could be actually happening to her. And her body is saying, maybe I should get that checked out. Well, now she won't, because she just got it checked out. And the only thing wrong with her is her gut, and she isn't sleeping well. Do you get where I'm saying this? Because we forget this. I don't know anybody who researches psychic mediums who talks about this. And I talk about this all in a lot of the videos, because it isn't what the medium is saying. It's what the medium is not saying. And that can be just as important or as powerful than what they say. So, if I'm getting anything through to you guys who are watching this channel, and thank you guys so much for watching this, I want you to understand that really we have to pay attention to everything, even the things that are inferred. And as I was saying about the discussions we were having with this, if you've got people who have this ability and are allowing people to feel like this is normalizing this behavior, normalizing the idea that you don't want to go to the doctor, you don't want to go to seek out therapy or whatever, and it's better just to go to your medium. Well, the psychic isn't going to say that, because they were going to get in trouble if they say, and they might get sued if somebody really has an issue and they don't seek care. But it's that idea that come to them first, and they will advise you, and they'll let you know. A lot of people don't have health insurance, or they have high deductibles, or they have trouble getting in to see a doctor, or they aren't taken seriously. They don't have telemedicine easily, and the doctor might give you bad news, so they don't go, or it's just too far away. There's lots of reasons people don't go seek out medical care. They don't trust doctors. I wouldn't be shocked if a lot of the people on this call do not trust the medical world, because how else would you fall for this? It's just odd. So, I mean, I have great sympathy for these people. I don't know what they're going through. They may have a legitimate fear of needles and doctors and pills, swallowing small objects like pills, or they just have had hugely horrible experiences in their life about this. I don't know. So, yeah, until we can look at the whole situation, why is it that these people are like that? We can't really address these needs that they have. And as I say on Psychics Explained, the channel you're watching right now, we need to really think about that. We cannot, I don't think we'll ever end the psychic medium world, but we have a hard time explaining and possibly reaching out and helping people to understand what's happening if we can't understand what it is that they're going through and why. Why would you go to a psychic medium who says that they can see into your body and look at your health issues? Why would you do that? That seems very dangerous and it seems very destructive. So let's hear them out and find out what it is. Why are you doing that? And then people should be, I hope somebody is able to help them and figure out what it is and get them some help, because this is nothing. It's like jumping up and down on one foot, turning around 4 times and eating a marshmallow, and that's supposed to help you out. I mean, it's silly, right? Okay. So let's move on to the next reading. It'll be a totally different video. I really appreciate you guys being here. This is an unusual kind of series that I'm doing here with these mediumship readings that are health related as well as very, very religious. I do get that question a lot about religion in the psychic world, and it is all over it. Oh my gosh, it is really, 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 really all over it. This is just another wing of it that we're seeing. Okay, so comments below. I really appreciate it. Please stay through the whole series of these videos. They'll all have the same look of a thumbnail, so you can tell which of these videos, whether they're 4 or 5 or 6. I don't know. Okay, take care, everyone.